like to think that anytime a group of real acorns get together, real Oak Island fans, like on The Curse of Oak Island and beyond, I like to think that I'm there in spirit as your fearless leader. And I know you have another fearless leader there on The Curse of Oak Island and beyond. Hello, Jeff Freeman. How are you? I was contacted by your friends Linda, Jan, and Jack, who just wanted to wish you a great night on this final, at least here in America, this final drilling down tonight, your last chance to look back on a very silvery season 8 and what might lie ahead. So it's an exciting night. I've got it on in my hotel room here. Why am I in a hotel room? Can't tell you. But I just want to make sure you all had a great night. Keep the faith as always, and thank you for all the wonderful support. And yes, I'm wearing a Bigfoot with a golf bag shirt, because that's how I roll. Thank you, everybody. As always, keep the faith. More to come. Stay tuned.
Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight? Jeff and John here with Curse of Oak Island and IDK still. It's still IDK, I guess.
Jeff, you know I'm a teacher. IDK? What's up with that? What do you mean IDK?
Well, we don't have a name yet. We still don't have a name. It's the second one, but, you know, we should be coming. Well, we have that contest going that we talked about in the first show.
If anyone can come up with a name and we use it, I will make sure that the mystery prize relating to Oak Island, it's going to be good, is sent directly towards your address or whatever address you would like it sent to. So rest assured, it is going to be a good prize.
Yes. And as we were talking about the fact that John and I are out of town this week, and that's why we're doing these recordings, but we are going to be checking the email, and make sure you send that to, it's Oak Island and Beyond at gmail.com. That's Oak Island and Beyond at gmail.com. So send those suggestions for a name. It's the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond something. So give us a name. So then we'll go with it. We'll have that all set up for next week. You know what? I'm really liking that hat you're sporting there today, John. Is that's an Oak Island hat, right?
It is actually. Yeah, I was lucky enough in 2018 to actually have gone to Oak Island and you know, gone on the tour. So I was able to meet Doug Crowell. He popped out and introduced himself right from the Interpretation Center, and had the chance to go on the tour with Charles Barkhouse. So it was a great tour, and you know, and a lot of questions. It takes you to the McGinnis Foundation, the swamp, 10X, the cave-in pit, all the way up to Smith's. I mean, it's about a 2-hour tour, Smith's Cove. Yeah. So I mean, and you see the Boulderless Beach. I mean, there's so much. You see everything that you see on the show. It was a fantastic tour.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that myself. And I had been scheduled, but then of course COVID happened, and then I didn't get to go. But I will be getting to go. So as folks, as you know, we were talking about these little short segments that we're doing. We'd like to, you know, cover certain subjects that are of interest to John and I, and hopefully to you as well. And John, what did you have for today? Do you go ahead.
The background is a little.
I was going to say you got a great picture.
What's the background, Jeff? Take one guess what the background is.
That is
10X
right there. You can't miss that one. Now, so, is that your picture? Did you?
That is my picture. Can we bring up the actual?
You sent me one here. Let me see if I can find it here. There we go.
Pictures I had of 10X.
Is that it right there? That's it.
10X. Yep. And it's a large structure. You'd be surprised. I mean, you know, your neck hits the bottom of the structure and you're looking down. So it's a large structure. I was much bigger than what I was expecting. Wow. And then I think I have another picture of it, Jeff. It gave me a little bit of vertigo, but you know, that's looking down into 10X.
Wow.
And so it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective how big the borehole is. It's a pretty substantial.
Well, we know that they made these out of tanker cars, right? Tanker train cars.
Do we actually have a picture of that?
I think Jeff? You did. I think you sent me one.
Oh, that'd be great if you can bring that up.
Oops, nope, that's
no, that's all right.
Whoop, there it is. There it is. Right there.
So I mean, can you imagine? I mean, this was the brainchild of Dan Blankenship.
Yep.
And he didn't have caissons like they do on the show now, where they rotate and they
and the ability to get him down there with the oscillator.
So he burrowed it out and basically lopped off each side of tanker cars to allow him to dive 10X. I mean, think about the ingenuity that Dan had to do this, and I can't imagine doing this.
I can't either. That's incredible.
It was very few of them working. I know Dan was, and his son was, and there were a couple people working on it.
Dan Hensky.
but you don't have the resources you have now on the show. So
Absolutely not.
can you imagine that, Jeff? Just taking one of
No,
those and
no,
trying to rotate it into place,
no.
and it's just and digging that out, with the equipment he had in 70, 71, and before.
Right.
I
No, I
mean,
can't.
so, when
That's
I'm
crazy.
looking at this and thinking of the history, Jeff, it really kind of sparked my interest in doing for IDK this week, a little bit of history on 10X, and I know we can, show a little bit about Dan. I think it's important to know a little something about Dan for some background information for our viewers, and
Yeah.
then I'm sure we can pull that up, and then kind of go into to what 10X is, and then I want to show Dan's footage and maybe
Okay.
compare it to Brian Abbott's footage. What do you think, Jeff?
I like it. I
Uh,
like it. And we do
Perfect.
have a little segment here, and
Okay, perfect.
this is actually from the History Channel. It's
Good.
on their YouTube channel on and the History Channel. And this is I think it's called Meet Dan Blankenship I think it's Meet Dan
Perfect.
Blankenship. So yeah, let's I'll bring this up here in
Okay.
just a second here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to roll it, and I'm going to watch the volume here. Hopefully, this won't blow you folks out. We'll try our best not to kill you with the volume here. This runs about, as you can see at the bottom there, 1 minute and 31 seconds. So here we go.
I first became involved in 1965, and I've been up here steady since 1970 or so. I first read about Oak Island in the January issue of Reader's Digest, and then I handed it back to my wife, and I said, "What do you think about this?" And she said, "Well, what do you think about it?" I said, "Well, number one, there's treasure on Oak Island, and number two, I think I'm going to be instrumental in discovering it." You can see I probably put in 10 to 12 holes in that field, and without a question, we hit cribbing and we hit wood at around 125 feet. Give or take.
Why were you so sure it was a buried latrine?
Smells. I mean, I didn't have to put my nose to it. I'm going to tell you the story.
All right.
And Rick,
I tell you what, that's pretty funny
he,
right
he
there.
was such a character. Dan's great.
Yeah. But when you're talking about this with him, the whole idea that he knew where 10X was, that still fascinates me. The fact that he was able to, why was he up there looking in that area for something anyway? I mean, was he assuming that there was a back door into the money pit? Was that what he was trying to do? Do you know? I don't know.
Well, you know how I believe this is how he found it. You remember how he found 10X?
By doing the dowsing rods.
The dowsing rods, yes.
Yeah. And he was able to determine that there was a chamber or something down, and it was 235 feet underground,
Correct.
which blows me away, But again, that whole dowsing rods thing. But I guess the whole idea was he was looking for another way into the money pit, and he found a chamber down there. So he decided he took a monumental expense because of dowsing rods. Told him there was a space down there.
And
He drilled and he hit it first, but then he decided to put the big borehole in.
Yeah, it's just a huge leap of faith. And he was, if you look at what faith is, a man of faith, that was Dan.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was absolutely a man of faith, and the dowsing rods, and he was determined to make 10X happen. And then he did. I mean, the railroad cars and the dowsing rods and what he found, and then taking the footage, Jeff, and the underwater footage. I mean, he was a man that was determined to prove the money pit.
Oh, exactly right.
You know.
Now there's another little video here. This is back in the day.
Okay.
When Dan was there. This is just simply called Borehole 10X.
Oh, perfect.
We can run this one real quick. I'm going to minimize it in size so we can see whose it is.
Okay. Cool.
Before we go with that. Okay. So this is another YouTube channel, and it is Ken J. He.
Okay.
Okay. So this was done in 2019. This is his, and I'll make this full size again.
Cool.
And then we'll run it.
Okay.
The story leading up to this moment actually began back in the early 1970s. It was then that legendary Oak Island treasure hunter Dan Blankenship drilled a borehole some 180 feet east of the money pit, hoping to finally find the back door to the treasure.
Back door. Yep.
At an astounding depth of 225 feet, Dan was astonished by what he believed he saw. a wooden support beam, tunnels extending out in 2 directions, a possible treasure chest, and most incredibly, human remains. Unable to safely explore the 27-inch wide shaft, Dan used concrete and hollowed out railway cars to widen 10X to an incredible 8-foot diameter, down to a depth of 180 feet. But then he ran out of money and was never able to prove whether or not he had found the answer to solving the Oak Island mystery.
Wow. So he was looking for a back door to the money pit. So that's why he was doing it. But again, you talk about the expense and the manpower at that time. Now, you know, like you mentioned earlier, they got the oscillator that's
absolutely
down there. But I mean,
he was doing all without those modern inventions, you know, and inventions and machinery. I mean, I can't imagine him doing that. Hey, we do have a picture of like maybe a graphic of 10X, Jeff, that we can bring up real quick.
Let me get that for you here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll make it a little bigger.
What's interesting? There's borehole 10X, and you see some marks. Can you read those marks off to us, Jeff?
Yeah, at 140 feet, I'll make it a little bigger here. So this borehole 10X, and at 140 feet, you got the cavity containing wood and metal.
Okay,
is what they found there. And then they get down to 180 or 60 feet. Sorry, cavity containing wood, metal, wire, chain, and cement. Now, why would they have cement down there? And the chain, any of it, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Why are they hitting this at 160 feet?
That's interesting.
And it was a cavity.
You know, and I think of, when I think of cement, it reminds me very much of Chapel Vault. Which was supposed to be encased in the top in cement. So, you know, there's another anomaly. You know, it's anonymous. What is that? Is it really, you know, what do you mean by cement? So that's kind of a curiosity right there.
And what's neat also is it says cavity containing. So they actually hit a cavity down at that level, and it contained these items. That's just. I mean, was it a cross tunnel and they just happened to? I don't know. That's really weird.
Leftovers, you know, fill in. You know, who knows? But it meant there was some activity there. I mean, would you say at this point, if they're finding those items, that there had been activity at that depth?
There would have to be. There would have to be.
How do you get around that?
If there to be chain and cement and stuff down at 160 feet, there had to be some sort of activity down there.
Absolutely.
It's not just going to fall through the ground. I mean,
not at all. And so you look at 230 feet, and it gets even more curious.
Yep.
So what do we have at 230, Jeff?
Cavity containing. Now this is what he had said, and I think we've got some footage. We got some of his old footage. It says the cavity containing a chest, what he believed was a chest, tools, beams, and a human corpse with a question mark.
Maybe a human corpse.
Now we know that you know, later we've sent divers down there with John Abbott. We had I'm sorry, Brian Abbott on the show. And you know, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But,
absolutely,
he had some interesting things there. Yeah, go ahead.
So as I'm looking at this question, and you and I have talked about this, you know, I started to get really curious about Dan's original footage, and I thought how nice it would be for the viewers if we actually showed Dan's footage and Brian Abbott's footage and compare the two to see if they correlate.
Okay.
And if you find repeated patterns, you know how I feel about it. If it's repeatable and you see them in 2 or 3 or 4 different sources, there's got to be something to the phenomena.
Yep.
So that was kind of the impetus of going in this direction with it, Jeff. I wanted the viewers to have a chance to see the footage. You and I will be commenting on it, but I want them to see it and for them to make up their own minds about it. So I figured this would be a nice format to, you know, an IDK, Oak Island IDK here, to show this and look at this. And guys, please help me come up with a name, and Jeff come up with a name. We can go all year as a teacher. Can't let it go. IDK cannot be the name of the show.
All right, Scott. We've got some of the footage here. Some of Dan's old footage. You want to show that now?
Yeah. If we can start with, I think there are 5 segments, and we can stop and, you know, kind of go back and forth with it, and, you know, slide. It's called sliding. You can slide the footage back and forth and stop, motion it, and whatever we want to do with it. So yeah.
All right. So I'm going to bring this one up. This is the first one. Now I'm going to show this here because this talks about, this is the YouTube channel for the Oak Island, all one word. And this was from 2010. And it says right here, segments are 2-hour underwater tape made by CBC of Halifax, 1971. Voiceover by Dan Blankenship. Showing wood, possible treasure chest, 2 tunnels, pickaxe, a chamber, etc., and a camera that was lowered down into 10x. Okay, so you're going to hear his voice. So I'm going to make this full size here. And now this one's 34 seconds, and we can stop it along the way. So if you want me to, just say, stop.
How about Jeff? How about we do a first watch and then go back and watch it a second time?
Okay, all right.
So the viewers can see it for the first time.
Right. So now they've got this box outlined here, but I don't know if we. Let's see what we get here. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, I see some things, Jeff.
Coming up now is something that you haven't seen before this, and it's the bottom of it. Now it's in the middle of the screen. It appears to be the end of a short-handled pick, and it's leaning up against or standing upright on the end of what we think is also another.
Okay.
Let's rewind that. And that, folks, is Dan's voice. He did the narration for his own footage that he had authorized. So, yep. You know what I want to see, Jeff? They're talking about a pickaxe. I need to look at it, and we can discuss. Does it look like something's there?
Yeah. Now, he was talking about, and if I
believe that's it
correctly, this item right here in the middle, on the bottom, in the middle, and we get better looks of it as we go along here. But this is it sticking up here, and I think this is what he was talking about, a pickaxe or something, and it's leaning up against a box or something that he mentioned. Okay, now let me move ahead here just a little bit. I think we get a better look at it.
Okay, no.
Here's another picture there, and that's a little bit the camera again. This is footage from 1971. So, and here's another look at it.
Okay.
Here now, the camera, of course, is hanging on a cable, so it's moving around a little bit. It's not steady, of course. But I was trying to also look what's behind it to see. Let me see what I can.
You have a shadow going on for sure.
We got a pretty good look at it right up here.
Let's see. No.
It's kind of interesting with that shadow that's behind it there.
It almost looks like it's
here
shaved off at an angle. You see the top of it, Jeff? That's actually a pretty good shot. Yeah. What do you think about the top of whatever that is? Is that an upside? Is it supposed to be an upside down pickaxe?
Well, no, I think that I'm not seeing the actual pick part of the pickaxe.
No, not at all.
I would say this is the handle, the top of the handle, and then if it has the pick, it's going to be down on the bottom portion. Which let's see what we get. I don't know that we actually get a look at that.
Now, let me ask you: if this was submerged all these years, Jeff, would that have rusted out, or would that actually still be in existence?
You would think it would rust, because especially with the fact that it's salt water down there too, I believe, because it's supposed to be drained in from the ocean. But here's another look at it here, and you can see the shadow. This is the shadow behind it. And this is the pickaxe, and it looks like, now again, it's hard to tell if that's about an 1.5 inches in diameter. We don't know. We're kind of guessing at the perspective of the size. But I think he was indicating that there was some sort of it's leaning up against some sort of a box or a small a rock or something here. You can kind of see, something along this line here.
I think we might have a different perspective slightly, Jeff. Maybe we can see that box anomaly if we play video or segment 2.
All right. So are we done with this one? I was looking down here.
Well,
I don't
let's
really
see. Do you see anything? No, we don't have to be done with it. I just don't. Do you see anything else, Jeff, of note?
Not really. No. I'm not seeing much else down here. Just this picture here. All right. So let me jump back to us, and then I will bring up the next one.
And if there's something I'm missing, please tell me. And viewers, if there's something, I know guys are gonna see this, after it's posted, but you can still make comments, on the video itself at the bottom, and I'd be curious to know what you guys see.
And I will link these too before we're done here. I'll put these up in the chat so I can link them. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Let me really quick. I know we're running out of time already, so
it's going
try
quick.
to make these short. So I'm going to put the first link in here.
Whatever we don't get to, it could be a part 2, the IDK, 10x.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me put
That's
it in
fine.
chat. Okay, we'll have to put it on. We'll get it up there somehow for everybody. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the second one. This is 43 seconds, and it's the same website. So
okay.
all right. So this one's 43 seconds. I'll make it full page, and then we're gonna run it here and see what we got.
Absolutely. Let's see what we have here.
Borehole consisted of a steel casing to bedrock down to 181 feet. The balance of the hole was drilled through anhydrite bedrock to a cavity of at 235 feet. All of this was taken at the bottom of the hole. At all times, a heavy weight was kept on top of the hole to prevent anything from contaminating the hole. We recovered 4 different kinds of metal from this hole, and as we were drilling, including several pieces of chain. The film starts off at 230 feet, give or take, and the camera was suspended on a cable plus a safety rope. Consequently, it was difficult to control.
All right, so just about the end there. One thing I did want to note in here, and as he's talking, he's obviously not talking about what we're seeing in the picture.
No.
He's talking about what they had found at different levels. But one thing I wanted to point out here, this is really odd right here. This this kind of a right angle of something here.
Okay.
Coming down. I have no idea what these are.
That I think could be the knee of where the body is, Jeff. The whole thing on the right hand side. I do believe that's where they thought the body was laying on its side.
Interesting.
Because you see, if you look at the light portion of that, there's more. You see a knee, and then it comes up to where an arm may be, and then there's a whole light portion of that area.
Right.
So I think that's where it was, but I wouldn't swear to it.
Okay. Pretty hard to tell because he wasn't really talking about what we were seeing.
He was giving us kind of the background on it.
Yeah.
Darker. Well, we can always go to segment 3.
All right, let's do that.
All right.
And I'm gonna bring us back here. And so we'll go to number 3. Now this one's about 46 seconds, same type of thing, in the same website. So I won't need to show that. I'm gonna go full screen here and bring it up. All right, here we go. We're gonna roll it.
Plus a safety rope. Consequently, it was difficult to control the camera at all times. What you see in that, what you're looking at now, is a still picture of a overhanging wood with a tunnel underneath of it and behind it. This is one portion of the wood right there. It's quite evident because you can see these strands hanging underneath of the wood. Anhydrite bedrock is a soft rock, and it does not have any sharp angles to it. It has a tendency to flake off in pieces, but as you can see, there'll be several pieces of sharp wood which has been cut off by our drill. So it definitely is not anhydrite bedrock. Plus a safety rope.
Whoops.
Consequently,
that's fine.
That over again. So
is that the same anomaly that we saw earlier in the last video? That maybe
a
body.
It might not. It was.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What is? Well, then, he's claiming that's wood. Is he not? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get up here. He had it kind of outlined.
Yeah. And I think
this was. Yeah, he was talking about this one being a piece of wood over an opening.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Let's see where he drew it. Let's see if I can get to that. Oh, here we go. Right here.
There it is, right there.
So he's saying that there's definitely some sort of a piece of wood here, man-made, because he blocked it off. Which I can definitely see this line, but these other line, this line is there because that.
It looks like there's no. It looks like it's a shallow piece with a top, almost like a cube.
Yeah, so you definitely see this line here, and then one coming across the bottom here. So, and that's what he's got marked out.
It's rather flat, which means that it could have been worked, man-made. It's worked. It's worked. Whatever it is, it's been worked by man.
Then this is the one I saw.
Okay.
Right here,
which
he's saying is a piece of wood over some type of an opening. But again, it's hard to tell from this. If that's
it's hard to tell. Yep.
Let's see. And then over here, I don't think this is a different look. Whoops, sorry. That's not a good one. He's talking about these strands And that's why he's saying that this is wood because of these strands.
Yep.
If I can get a better look at it. Oh.
We might have to roll the segment 4, Jeff. We're not getting a really. Still undetermined.
Yep. Really hard to see what Dan was seeing
underneath the wood. Anhydrite bedrock is a soft rock, and it does not have any sharp angles to it.
Yeah. All right. Let's. All right. So let me jump over here.
Segment 4. Let's see if segment 4 reveals anything.
All right.
Of Dan's footage.
All right. Now this one's a bit over a minute, so we'll.
Okay. That's
same
fine.
site. So go full size and roll.
It has a tendency to disintegrate and powder like that in water. What you see there is a vertical post that is sitting in the chamber.
There we go. That's definitely.
Okay, that's definitely. Now, you and I were talking about, look at the bottom, Jeff. Do you not see right angles at the bottom of
Yeah, it does look like there's a right angle right here at the bottom.
Yes, it does.
That would make it a post rather than a piece of pipe, I would say, right?
Correct. If that's a squared off right angle, that becomes a post, not a piece of pipe. I mean, you in agreement with that, right, Jeff?
I am, yes, absolutely.
Okay, it would have to be a post.
I like this right here too. I mean, we know that in nature doesn't really make square, corners. That's a square corner. I don't know what this is, and he didn't really talk about it.
No.
But that right there is a square corner as far as I'm concerned. And he didn't really mention what that was. I'm going to back this up a bit and run it again just to see.
It has a tendency to disintegrate and powder like that in water.
So he's not talking about what that is. That looks like a little shelf.
What you see there is a vertical post.
That's a post.
That's a post. 100%. It's got to be something. It's got to be a post.
We don't really know the reason for it, but right in behind it appears to be some kind of a chest or something. If you look on the right-hand middle, it looks like a handle sticking out of it.
Okay, so again, I'm going to stop that real quick.
There's the post.
I don't know if he's talking about this.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about back, Jeff. Look at that. That thing right there. It does look like the top of a chest. You see how it comes across? Oh, what happened to it?
I just moved ahead.
Okay.
Or back a little. Let me see if I was trying to get a clearer picture.
Yeah. So up in the middle, it's right in the middle.
Right here.
The bottom's the dark anomaly, right? And then if you go up a little, you see a line coming across. Yep. And then the curvature of the top. And he's saying that little line that right there is a handle. Yep, right where that's it.
It's definitely something sticking out there. I don't know what that is.
What it is, I don't know. And if that's a box or not, or a chest or not.
This is something right here behind the, because he said directly behind the post, and there's definitely something here.
Well, let's continue to play it. Maybe see that's what he's referring
sticking out of it. About halfway up on the right-hand side.
It'll be right here.
It doesn't appear to be vertical. It appears to be smaller on the bottom and wider on top. And some of the old pictures seem to show chests that were shaped like that.
Yeah, he's marking it out right there. You see that square bottom? Look at that.
We're absolutely certain that wooden post that you just saw was not put down in the hole, but was their original. And wood would stay preserved for hundreds and hundreds of years as long as it's...
Oh, there we go. Get out of that real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get over here. All right. So that was definitely a post. I mean, and we saw Brian Abbott's information.
So when we were looking at the chest, was it behind there in the center, or was it right next to the post? Was he saying the chest was on its side?
He said, well, in that particular segment, he said that there was a box or something.
Okay, where we were looking
directly behind the post.
But it's really hard to tell. It's really hard
to
tell.
It's very hard to tell
what he's referring to.
Yep.
So that was segment 5, correct, Jeff?
No, that was 4.
Oh yeah, let's roll 5. See if we see anything
else. Real quick. This is 20 seconds. So okay,
and then we can look at Brian's footage.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this.
Okay.
that. What you see right there on the bottom of the screen is definitely a piece of a log that has been cut off, a round log.
Oh,
You can see the wood sticking out of the end of it.
Pause that,
I'm going to
Jeff.
pause it.
Jeff, I'm undetermined on that. I'm not so sure about that.
I am
I said
too.
it reminded me of a bowling ball, but
Yeah, well, looks like it has a hole right there.
what is that? I'm not so sure that's wood, Jeff. I mean, it's something. It's something's there. It could be a rock formation. I'm not. I don't know, Jeff. You think that's timber of some type?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
Mhm.
undetermined as far as I'm concerned. I'm not
Undetermined. That's
convinced
fair
it's a piece
enough.
of wood.
Undetermined. So
Yeah.
So you and I are both in agreement that the pillar, I'm going to call it a pillar
Mhm.
or a support beam, is legitimate.
I think so.
We're
I think
both
so.
seeing it. There's a right angle at the bottom of that support beam,
Mhm.
whatever that beam is,
All right.
and it's there in the pictures. Correct? I mean, we're
Yep.
both okay. So let's see and compare that to the sonar scans that Brian Abbott did.
All right. Now I do have Brian's video, but I don't know. Do you want to show that, or do you want me to show some pictures?
We can do either or.
Let's. This is 2 minutes long. Let's run a little bit of this. Let's take a
Okay,
look
sure.
at it. Okay. Now this is obviously, Brian when he was on, and we had Brian on the show here not that long ago, and he showed us many of those pictures that I have. He sent me. So we can go to those here in just a second. So let me run this.
We'll do this and then look at some of the pictures.
This is the History Channel site. Yep.
Okay.
Goodness. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at this, gentlemen. What's that? Yeah, it's an opening.
That sure looks like an opening to me. That's what I was saying to Brian.
Rectangular in shape as the way it's cutting back.
It's something, Jeff.
I'm an engineer. I deal in square, rectangular, and round, and this is rectangular. Mother Nature doesn't make rectangle things.
Brian Abbott has been investigating and helping to visualize underwater objects for more than a decade. In addition to finding everything from shipwrecks to underwater cities, he was one of the first to fully map the wreckage of Titanic in 2010.
So it's like a doorway or another
tunnel. There's two tunnels. One
Could very well be.
in, and as you say, on the opposite side, one going out.
See, Dan saw that when he was.
That's exactly how he described it.
The first indication that what Dan Blankenship claimed he saw at the bottom of 10X was true?
I've been waiting 30 years to see
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. Can you
But
imagine?
if there really are man-made tunnels, who built them? And where, if anywhere, do they lead?
Well,
That's the question.
What is that thing sticking right there in the middle that's rectangle like? What is that?
I don't know. I mean, it's a rectangular object,
How big is that?
4.3 feet wide, and from this point back here to back here is 7 feet.
It does look man-made,
Here.
and there's multiple objects.
I told you that.
Man-made objects? At the bottom of 10X? 235 feet beneath the surface of Oak Island?
Okay, so what do we know for sure? There's a chamber. For
Yeah.
bloody sure, right?
Yes, with man-made objects.
with man-made objects. Wow.
There you go. Now, you had a chance to interview Brian Abbott recently.
Yes.
And he provided you some pictures. So
Yes,
can
he
we
did.
look at those, Jeff?
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of
okay.
wrap up IDK from there?
Yeah, I
So-
think so. Yeah,
that
we're
would be great.
right about the end here. So let me find. I had them earlier. Let me see.
Okay.
I'm let's see pictures. Here we go. And
Let's see
Brian.
what we have here.
Okay, so I've got several.
Okay.
One of them, the one I really like is this one. There's a couple of them here that I'll bring up.
Okay.
So, all right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, so this
Oh, wow.
is one that he had. This is one of his scans that he put together after they went back with all their information. They put it through a database,
Mm-hmm.
and we're able. Now, this is post that they saw, that Dan saw.
Yeah.
And he saw also, and I'll roll to the next one. Now, here again is that post. Now, these are the pipes going. There's a riser pipe, and then part of this, the 27-inch. I think it was the 27-inch. It goes from the 8-foot down to the 27-inch, and that's this one. And then, of course, this anomaly down here in the bottom. But I wanted to see if we can get a better look at this
Okay.
post and what was supposed to be behind it. So let's see. I'm going to back off to my
okay.
pictures here real quick. Let's see. I wanted to see if there's one. Let's see. Let's look at this one.
Okay.
Okay. Now this one showed two.
Two posts.
Yeah, two posts. Now I think they determined later that one of those two was actually a piece of pipe that fell down in there or a drill bit or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still talking about the one post, but I don't really see a box behind it like they were talking about. Do you?
No. I saw the supposed box sitting in the middle of 10X. I think that's the picture, but right there's definitely one post, and the other post is one of the pipe that, and then something in the middle. What's the dark thing in the middle?
This here? I think this
No,
was
the whole thing, the gray and the dark.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be that body anomaly that they saw down there.
But it's definitely a post, Jeff. I mean,
yeah,
I see it in Dan's original footage, and I see it there. I cannot deny that that's a post.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I agree with you.
You would definitely be in agreement with that. It's absolutely has to be a post.
Here, let me show this one here real quick.
Okay, sure.
Now, again, I think that we're talking about this one being the post that they saw. And of course, this is that body anomaly down there that they saw. That, again, the diver went down. John Chatterton went down, and he did not find a body. But it sure looked like one.
Well, Jeff, I'm going to leave it to the viewers at this point. I mean,
yeah.
I see a post, you see a post, that could be a body. So, hey, guys, write in, email us. Tell us what you think about our short tonight, on IDK. Because, and then there's the supposed body. Tell us what you think. Is there a body down there? Is that really a post that we're seeing? Are Jeff and I correct in our observations? I mean, you want to hear from them, right, Jeff? You want to hear from the viewers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely do. Yeah, put your comments out there and let us know what you think. This is the picture of this one here is the rendering from Brian Abbott, and then this is the old photograph or camera footage from. Yeah, they do. I mean, you see all of it. It does look like a body, but again, the diver went down and said, "Nope, there's no body down there."
Curious.
Yeah, very, very curious. Very curious. I know. I'm just it really intrigues me to no end that could be. I thought there was one more picture.
Okay.
Maybe not. I wanted to see if there was one more. I could have swore I had here for it.
And while you're looking for that, it's just really, really curious. I mean, we see some things, Jeff, that do match Dan's footage, and we see some things that we can't really confirm. Like Dan's seen some things that I don't see in Brian Abbott's scans, and Brian Abbott's seen some things that Dan didn't see. So, but there is some correlation, and there are some things that do match them both, which for me would warrant further investigation.
I think so. And I know that Rick would love to go back down there. Now, I think Marty's written it off. He's done with 10X, and but I think Rick is still would like to get further investigation of this thing. And the thing that intrigues me, I think, about 10X also is the tunnel. Dan was very adamant about the fact that there was a tunnel that went off on both ends, so to speak, on both ends. And the scans that Brian Abbott did confirmed that it seemed like there was as well. Now, when John Chatterton went down there, he said there was not. He said he got down on his hands and knees and there was no opening there. But man, I tell you, the scans spoke otherwise.
The scans spoke otherwise. And, when you're down there, you have zero visibility. You're kind of feeling around to figure out where you are. And, things shift. It does look like there's some water movement down there. How
would the water get in there if there's no opening to somewhere else?
Well, there would have to be an opening, wouldn't there, Jeff? And Marty's coin trick where he dropped a $1 coin, a Canadian coin.
I think it was H8. He put that down there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it shifted, and two years later he found it somewhere else. And so there has to be some water movement down there. Now, if it's in the money pit area, I would assume that there's a strong possibility it could also be in the area of 10X.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Very
another mystery of Oak Island.
Another mystery, but I'd like to see them go back down to 10X. What do you guys think? Would you like to see them go back down into 10X one more time and have another look? A different diver, the same diver? I don't know. What do you think? What would you like to see? Would you like to see him go back down in there again?
Absolutely, Jeff. You know, why not? You know, I think the fans want to see it. I'd love to see it. And, you know, if there's any way to do another scan or even send, you know, one of the small submersibles down there with a camera or something.
I
I
think
mean, every
that's
time they
what I
send
was
one down, it gets clearer and clearer and clearer, you know, not stir up so much of the soot and, you know, actually try to get, you know, as Rick says, boots on the ground, but in this case, you know, fins in the water.
I think
You know,
that's a
to
great
actually
idea. That's an excellent idea. Send a small submersible down there.
and see what it brings up. So, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully
Don't let
they
it
do
get
that
too
this
close to the bottom where it kicks up this, you know, the sediment.
year.
Just
Yes.
kind of let it cruise around and get some
Yep.
better pictures. I mean, the
Yep.
resolution of the pictures nowadays compared
Oh
to
my
what Dan
God.
had, phenomenal, right?
You know.
Well, there you go, folks. There's 10X, a little bit closer look at it. We've tried to do our best with that and kind of show a little history of Dan Blankenship and what he was looking to do there with 10X. And the fact that he found it in the first place just completely still blows my mind. But he was right. There was definitely a chamber down there. And again, why was this? Was it a natural chamber or did somebody make it? And why is that post down there? Questions that need answers. All right, we're going to wrap up this segment. This is segment number 2. And again, don't forget to throw out there to Oak Island and Beyond at gmail.com. Throw out there your suggestions for more shows that you'd like to see us do in these little short segments. And also give us a name for the show. We're still stuck with IDK. I don't know.
And Jeff, YouTube channel is?
It is JFree906. And if you're out there, if you would subscribe, we'd appreciate that very much. Click on that notification bell and you'll get notified as soon as we upload these new videos like this. It'll tell you right away. That's why you want to click that notification bell. And if you'd like to help support the show, we also are on the Patreon, patreon.com. It's JFree906 there as well. All right. That's it for tonight. John, what do you think?
I think further exploration is needed, Jeff.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, everybody have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you next time right here on the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond. Bye-bye now.